You don't need a reason to choose yourself. Hey there, I'm Valerie Jones. Welcome back to the Selfish Year series. This is a year-long series where every week I'm bringing you a deep dive into the principles that I've written in my book, The Selfish Year. Go grab your copy wherever books are sold. This is your guide for the Selfish Year series. And like I said, each week I'm taking a principle from the book and I'm doing a deep dive. So today, I wanted to talk about this idea of needing some kind of reason outside of yourself to choose yourself. Let's break it down. There's one thing that stops so many women from choosing themselves, and that is this belief that you need a reason, a justification, an explanation, proof that something's bad enough. You're waiting for permission that's never coming. So let's talk about why you don't need a reason to choose yourself. So here's what we've been taught as women. You can choose yourself if he's abusive. That job is toxic. Your health is failing. You've given it 10 years. You've tried everything else first. Basically, you can choose yourself when it's so bad that no one could possibly judge you for it. You need a reason that they will accept. But here's the truth. That's bullshit. You don't owe anyone a reason. Not your partner, not your family, not your friends, not strangers on the internet. You get to choose yourself just because you want to. That's it. That's the reason. When I left my marriage, I got asked a lot of questions, and one of them was, why? What did he do that was so terrible to justify you leaving? And when I said, I just don't want to be married anymore, they didn't understand. They needed a villain. They needed proof. They needed it to be bad enough. But it was bad enough because I didn't want it anymore. That was reason enough. Women, we have been trained to believe that our desires don't matter unless they're justified, unless we can prove it's necessary. Because selfishness is a sin, right? So if you're going to commit the sin of choosing yourself, you better have a damn good reason. But think about it. When a man leaves a relationship, who asks him to justify that decision? When a man quits a job, who demands an explanation? When a man says, I want something different, people say, good for you. But when women do it, when we do it, we're abandoning our responsibilities. We're being selfish. We're not thinking about everyone else. This is the system working exactly as designed. You're supposed to need a reason. You're supposed to wait for permission because if you could just choose yourself whenever you wanted, the whole thing falls apart. Here's what I know now. You don't need to wait until it's unbearable. You don't need to collect evidence. You don't need a smoking gun. I don't want this anymore is reason enough. This doesn't feel good is reason enough. I want something different is reason enough. Period. When you stop waiting for a reason, everything changes. You stop tolerating things that are just fine. You stop waiting for them to get worse before you leave. You start asking, do I want this or am I just enduring it? Okay, because that's a terrifying question, isn't it? Because if you don't need a reason to stay stuck, then what's keeping you there? You, just you, your fear, your guilt, your belief that you don't deserve better unless you can prove you've suffered enough. But you do deserve better, not because you've earned it, not because it's bad enough, just because you're alive. This applies to literally everything. You don't need a reason to leave the relationship, even if he's a good guy. You don't need a reason to quit the job, even if the pay is good. You don't need a reason to move cities, even if everyone thinks you're crazy. You don't need a reason to end the friendship, even if you've known them for 20 years. You don't need a reason to say no, even if they will be disappointed. And you don't need a reason to change your mind, even if you've already committed. You get to want what you want. You get to choose what feels good. You get to build a life that's yours without explaining yourself to anyone. All right, here's what you might be thinking. But Val, what do I actually say when people ask for a reason? When they say, but why are you leaving? What happened? Here's what you say. Because I want to. That's it. Practice that in the mirror because you don't elaborate, you don't justify, you don't build a case. I've decided this isn't for me anymore is enough. I'm choosing something different. This doesn't feel right to me. And when they push, because they will, I don't need you to understand. I just need you to respect my choice. Boom, baby. You're not asking permission, you are informing them. There's a huge difference. Hey, and if they can't respect that, if they keep demanding reasons, that tells you everything you need to know. Because people who actually care about you will trust that you know what's best for you. People who need you to justify yourself, they're trying to talk you out of it. Don't let them. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about one thing in your life right now that doesn't feel good. Not terrible, not abusive, not unbearable, just not good. Maybe it's a relationship, a job, a commitment, a pattern. Now ask yourself, if I didn't need a reason, would I still choose this? Not, is it bad enough to leave, but do I actually want this? Because if the answer is no, you don't need to wait for it to get worse. You don't need to build a case. And you don't need anyone's permission. You can just choose yourself right now, just because you want to. So, the selfish year isn't about waiting for the right moment. It's not about earning the right to choose yourself. It's about deciding that you are reason enough. Your desire is valid, honey. Your I don't want this anymore is valid. Your I want something different is valid. You don't need to justify your aliveness. You just need to claim it. All right, that's it for today, my loves. If this resonated, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share it with a woman who needs to hear this. Next week in the Selfish Year series, we're talking about the Good Girl contract, why you signed it, and how to burn it. Until then, choose yourself. You don't need a reason, and I'll see you next week.